Hello, this is the video for Odoo19 cache basis go live. The process is already done, but I want to show you the Excel sheet, the input process to the final result. So from the preparation for Odoo19, assuming this cache basis go live is including inventory, we'll probably just create its inventory variation account current asset type 11999 with the code. Please be aware that for Odoo19 chart of accounts, the code become optional. So it's okay not to have code, but I still prefer to have code. I would recommend that you read through this, but long story short, during the import process for a cash basis specifically, we remove all the account receivable. So even for a cash basis go live, you will have accrual basis trial balance at the go live date, May 1st, 2026. You will also have May 1st, 2026 for a cash basis open balance, and they look different. So inventory in this case is 400, inventory in this case is 800. And in how do we read this tab? This is an open balance accrual. This is for the open balance that we need to clean up stuff. After importing this, if you look at Odoo balance sheet on May 1st, this is a result on the balance sheet. You will see AR 3000, AP 1800, and all that. Cash basis, on the other hand, after you import these, if you select a cash basis method on the balance sheet as of May 1st, this is a result that you see. So this result and this result are different, but they are pointed to the same thing. All right, so because of that, cash basis import does not have AR clearing account or AP clearing account or even inventory clearing account. Okay, there are some few checklists for every tab while you import. Be careful. Every import you want to make sure customer vendor it's already in the database, chart of accounts, product, and journals. In this case, a post for open invoices, I want to make sure that my database have someone called Deco Edit, Azure Interior. I have account called Product Sales. And here, as you can see, my spelling is not good. And then this amount, okay? All right, so I actually export everything. And because of my laptop scenarios, I have to use a CSV file. So, oops. Okay, anyway, I'm downloading a CSV and I do have to import it into or convert it into CSV file. So CSV file is per tab. Let me save this as a tab. And then I'll import this as okay. And then finally, I'll import the quantity. Okay. Now, let's take a look at the file while we import these open balance. What I needed to do is, okay, make sure, of course, because of the CSV, some amount is become really funny, and that's something we need to be careful with. This is 1000 and this capital is 400. Oh, sorry, 1400, just to clean up the format. And the rest, I don't need them. Okay. So this is the final type of file that I need. And then I'll just click on the journal entry to import, save. I'll go to Odoo database, journal entry, click on import, and then select that file. After your import, you will see something like this: open balance, May 1st, inventory valuation, outstanding receipt and capital. Remember, because we're doing a cash basis go live, you're importing a cash basis open balance, not an accrual. For accrual, it's only for you to check the data. When I say check the data, So let's circle back a little bit and review the data. When you receive a data, you will receive probably something like AR 3000, AP 1800. Most of the time your client won't break down for you because they don't even know how to break down. Do I break down for 600 and 1200 or 1800? There's no point. So they don't know what to break down. I break down to explain the AP and inventory part. So let's assume you get a one line of account payable, the one line of inventory, which is 1200, sum these two up, and a bank for 1000, product sales for 3000, expense for 1000, capital for 1400. Long story short, your total debit and credit still match. Now, from accrual to cash basis, you almost need to make sure that since my cash basis doesn't have AR, if I just remove AR, my balance, it's no longer balanced. So if I take out AR on the debit side, I'll probably take out somewhere like an income, the counterpart of AR on the credit side. You should, as the client, they should know. Sometimes, even when you take these 3000 out, you might still have some balance in product sales. That's fine, as long as the total debit and credit match. So it's possible you might still have some income show up here. That's fine. Now, next part, you get an idea for AP. My total AP is 1800. Within this 1800, 1000 are from expense, and there's about 800 comes from inventory. But what does it mean? My inventory total is 1200. Why do I have 800 and 400? What does it mean? With my inventory total up with 1200, 400 means that I pay the vendor the bill. The payment is already done. These 400 correctly reflect on my inventory. These 800, on the other hand, I did get the vendor bill, but I have not paid a vendor. Hence, for a cash basis purposes, inventory 800 does not show up on the cash basis. Hence, it only shows 400. These 800 for the counterpart is account payable. So while you import these open bill, the 800 comes against with inventory. These 1000 comes again 1000. So let's quickly take a look at the bill. So when you click on the open bill, you will see I have two lines that sum up for $1,000 using expense account against AP. 4 times 200, which is 800, is using inventory account reflected on here. Finally, open invoices. That's very straightforward. Summed it up, $3,000. Instead of using AR clearing, I use product sales. After you import everything, so this is open bill that you import. You come to customer invoices, import your open invoices. Not this file, but one thing to be careful. If this is my open, I'll show you my open invoice file. Okay. As you can see, my open invoice file look like this. Also, it's a little weird. And by the way, it's actually now $1 and $2. It's 1000 and 2000. So you kind of have to fix it a little bit. Partner, like I said, there's a checklist. While you import, you have to check if the partner is the same, existing in Odoo, product sales account is existing in Odoo and stuff like that. Let's close it. Let's take a look. Do I have customers called? So I don't have a customer called Deco Edict or Azure Interior. Instead, it's Azure and Deco. So I either fix the data here or fix my Excel import, one way or the other, as long as they match. Once it's matched, I'll come and import the invoice here. In my case, my invoice is using Deco and Azure. As you can see, it's using product sales. So it's AR against product sales account as of the date in the past. Vendor bill, same thing. All the thing that you see for the $1,000, $600 and $400 using miscellaneous expense, and this 800, which is 4 times 200 using inventory valuation account. So that's the end of the goal. Sorry, not the end. This is all the part of accounting. One more part you need to do is import the inventory on hand quantity. So you go to inventory, simply import your physical inventory for this product, X amount of quantity, this product, X amount of quantity, which is matching in here. A 200, I have quantity 4. B 400, I have quantity 1. Here. Now, the only thing is, remember on your location, Remember on your location, if you remove for the virtual inventory adjustment location, if it's accrual, you wanted to have a journal entry for inventory clearing account, you put it here. But in this case, cash basis, I don't even want an entry. I don't want an entry. I would just not even bother to enter any account here. One thing to be careful is after you do an inventory inventory quantity import, let me do a quick example. Suppose we import this line and then say this is quantity 1. The moment you click on apply, oops, that's bad. Let's just change it to 0. Apply. Interesting. Let me double check on this product. Okay, that cost is $0. Let's assume I have certain cost here. What I want to show you here is the moment I click, oh, that's bad. Okay. Okay, this is exactly what I'm looking for. When you click on apply, for version 19, you can go backdate it. Even though today is June 12th, you can say, hey, my go live was back in May 1st and 8 a.m. Okay, you can do that. And you can even decide an accounting date. What does accounting date means? Accounting date means that I want an entry back in X amount of date. But for my case, I don't even want an entry. So I can just leave it blank. Plus my location of the loss account is also blank. So leave it as it is. But this is wrong case. Let me just count it for 0. So yeah. Okay, so you do not need an inventory clearing account in this case. However, after you do all the go live process, you do want to come back to the location and add a proper expense or cost of goods sold account in case you do your cycle count and you're losing some quantity on hand out of the blue. You want to have an entry reflected. Doing a cash basis go live doesn't mean that you don't need an inventory entry in the future. Finally, open invoice, open bill, and journal entry are all imported. You wanted to come and take a look at the balance sheet, and we're talking about May 1st. Forget about this bank because it's coming from my historical data import, so forget about it. But everything else, as you can see, my account receivable are 3,000 related to the accrual basis here. AP 1,000, it's also correct. Somewhere in here. 1,800, sorry. Because 1,000 plus 800. Inventory is 1,200. Inventory is on the top. 1,200, that's also correct. So everything else, you can go through it. They're all correct. Now, what about cash basis? How do we know? What are we looking at? Because we're looking at this result, right? So our result is inventory for 400, bank 1,000, and capital. Again, don't worry about the bank because I import some other journal item. But right now, the amount sit in outstanding receipt because I haven't reconciled it to the bank. If I were change to cash basis, again, forget about this bank. You'll see $400. Again, don't worry about current asset because it's coming part of this. My outstanding is 1,000, and what else? And my capital is 1,400, which is down there. And as you can see, I have no payable because I'm on the cash basis. Capital 1,400. So all of them are good. And this is a proper cash basis go live. It's a little different from the accrual basis go live. And I hope it makes sense. This is the demo process is using Odoo19 United States localization demonstration. It does not mean that this process is restrictly for 19 and United States. It probably can apply, but something might change. So I encourage you that do your testing. As question said, hey, I expect to do this just following for Odoo19. Why do I not have this XYZ? So then your question will be related to specific version. I hope it makes sense. Thank you.